So following on from the internal piece, what's fascinating to a lot of us, and this ties a whole world of different things together, in my opinion. When we pivot on this and look at the external market and how you develop external marketing and comms, you talk about a change, from events like Mobile World Congress getting cancelled. Whoever thought that Mobile World Congress would be cancelled? And not least a few days.
And several times.
yeah, exactly. Several times. And at least the first, very much at the last minute. That drastically changes not just marketing, but the whole funnel around sales, or at least perceived to drastically change it. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and impressions of not only just what you did, but perhaps what the development is coming out the other side, because I'm assuming that, again, the pendulum isn't going to swing completely back to what we saw.
Yeah. What's interesting for us, and I think for many companies, is the pandemic actually really accelerated activities that were already underway, right? I mean, as I think about what we were doing, and partly for reasons of cost, but also partly because increasing, how customers buy, we are moving a lot to digital anyway. The economics of the business really meant that you had to be very efficient in identifying leads and so on. And of course, digital marketing is a great way to do that. And so we were already moving that way. But when the pandemic hit, we had to kind of take what we were doing and what we had planned to do in 3 years and do it in like 2 weeks, which was tough. But because think about Mobile World Congress, right? When we last did Mobile World Congress, we had about 1,000 meetings, with senior level customers. We had 7,000 plus demo presentations on our stand. We came away with, more than 600 solid, and I mean really solid, vetted business leads to then, hand over to sales to follow up on. So that's really hard to replace. So we had to really accelerate what we were doing around, what we call Nokia Live webinars, around our kind of product launches, moving that all online. And I think we made good progress, but I think it's going to get even harder because, frankly, everybody's doing webinars now. And there's just, I don't know about you, I get invited to about 1,000 webinars a day. And I'm sure they're all interesting, but I can't, do them all. But, we started doing things. We, as a very business to business company, we would have, customers come to our executive experience center in Espoo, Finland, and really kind of touch stuff and really engage deeply. And, we actually set it up so we could broadcast virtually from the executive experience center in Espoo. We actually had a roving robot with a camera that could take you through racks of equipment. You could then have live demos of seeing that equipment work in reality. We saw, some of our webinars be viewed by more than 2,000 different companies and many people within those companies. And of course, our customer set of telecom operators is relatively small. By September, and I don't have the latest numbers, we had done over 300 virtual events versus, a small fraction of that the previous year. And actually, we're seeing our lead gen targets, particularly for our enterprise business, being ahead of what we had planned, because actually that digital stuff was really working. And so I think from a big picture view, it actually just forced things to move a lot faster that were going to happen anyway. But that speed of change was pretty hard, right? Because it was pretty demanding on people. People who are at home stressed and suddenly figuring out, wow, my targets for demand gen haven't changed. How am I going to do it? And that was hard. But I think it brought out also the best of people in terms of kind of being a bit entrepreneurial, being creative, and being really driven to do something different.